Many people have asked me, why do I only make visual novels? Why doesn't my game studio, Red Seed Games, make 3D action role playing games or 3D action shooter games? Why don't you make such games? And people tell me that these games work so much better than visual novels, right? And because they are more interactive, people play them more, and they are more popular. So people tell me that you should make action role playing games, 3D action role playing games, and 3D action shooting games rather than visual novel role playing games. Well, the why I'm not making 3D action role playing games, because I cannot. Indie game studios like mine doesn't have don't have lots of resources and money to put into making these games. A 3D action role-playing game involves years and years of development. It has, and if you want it to be successful, all the assets used in the game should be original. So to make those original assets, it takes a lot of money, time, lots of people, and an indie game studio just cannot afford it, right? So that's the answer. That's why indie studios, they don't make action role playing games, 3D action role playing games, or any 3D game which is similar to Skyrim or Call of Duty or Witcher series. We don't do that because we can't do that. It's difficult. Only big companies can afford to make such games. Now, many people have told me that there are some indie studios that have made 3D action games, shooting games, as well as role playing games, and I want to tell that those indie studios are borderline AAA studios. They are almost reaching AAA status, and that is why they have the money and the resources and the time to put into these games. But new indie studios cannot do that. They don't have the money and the resources to put into 3D games, although they may know how to make them. They may try to put something together. I may also try to put something together in the form of a 3D game, but it won't look good. It won't do justice to the genre. It will be bad. It won't sell. So indie game. When you look at indie games, you will recognize them. They look indie. They have an indie look because most of them are unique. They have some or the other difference from each other, because that's the thing, when we don't have much resources, then we have to apply creativity to differentiate our games and to make them sell, right? So that's why you see indie games are, and they have so many categories of indie games. They are very creative, very unique, and their mechanisms are very innovative most of the time. So that's the reason they don't have money and resources. They only have creativity and expertise, and maybe few members, two or three members in the whole studio, right? So that's the thing. That's why indie studios don't make AAA games, because that's why they are called AAA games, because they are made by big companies, and indie games are called indie games because they are made by indie companies, indie game studios, and yeah, that's the thing. That's why they don't do that. But they also have their own creative, their own charm, and it may happen that some indie studio does great sales and become a triple A studio. That has also happened many times. For example, Rockstar Games started by making top down GTA 2D game to GTA 5. So they sold many copies of it. They got big and successful, right? The franchise itself got big and successful, so that's also there. That plays a very big role, the franchisee. So that's what I wanted to tell you. There are many studios that have gone from indie status to triple A status, but it takes time. So, like, next time, if someone is asking an indie studio to make action 3D action role playing games, then they should understand that it's not possible. It's difficult to do that. It's difficult to do justice to the genre. That's why we don't do it. We stick to what we can do best. And I myself, I can make visual novels in a very good way. That's why I do that. And I don't have the resources to make 3D action role playing games or 3D action shooter games. That's why at Red Seed Games we make visual novels or visual novel RPGs, anything that has to do with visual novels. Alright, thank you for watching.